What's up, Starcraft fans? Today we're doing the tier list for slow and steady on missed opportunities. Brian, let's hear the invitation.
Missed Opportunities is the map where we have to clear out terrazine geysers for Stetmann's bots to harvest. Then we have to protect said bots from enemies. If we lose more than one bot on brutal difficulty, we lose the game. Enemies are really fast. They slow you down. Circles on the ground also slow you down.
Alright, so we have Eveling and call with us today. Eveling, how are you?
Doing all right.
Alright, so how do we rank commanders this week?
So, major mutations in this one is Concussive Attacks and Speed Freaks. Concussive Attacks, they last much longer than you would want. So you're pretty much just walking at a slow snail's pace most of the game.
Yeah.
And Speed Freaks, they're just zooming around you. But with proper placement of your army and knowing the timings, this should be a breeze for you. This is rated roughly in terms of point score, roughly a brutal +1. And of course, there is a third mutator, Time Warp, but that's it is annoying, but it's hardly of any major concern unless, you are stuck in Time Warp and with Concussive Attacks, then pretty much if Amon's wait on you, you're mostly dead at that point. But just make sure to be able to replace things appropriately. But it should be a pretty easy week. It's mostly a free week on missed opportunities.
This is basically a brutal plus, or rather, a regular brutal mission, except instead of you losing your army, the only way you lose is if you lose the bots. Because your army's out of position, and the enemy has Liberators, or Banelings, or Immortals, or stuff that destroy the bots really fast. That's literally the only way you can lose the mutation. So, if you can get to the bots when you need to get, and you have ways to back up where you need to be in case you're out of position. In case you're out of position, you can get to the bots really fast. You're S. If you can get there but have some difficulty, you're A. But if your commander doesn't have a lot of great mobility options, you're B. So let's begin. Abathur, where do we have him?
Abathur, he has great mobility with his Brutalist, 10-second deep tunnels. He's with his Brutalist alone, he can pretty much come close to soloing this mission. But you add P2 onto that, and he's gonna have deep tunneling any ground units other than his queens. It should be almost a cakewalk for him. S to A.
Yeah, he has deep tunnel, S tier. Prestige wise, second one should be good.
Yep.
No prestige should be good.
Max mobility.
And if you're really good at luring, third one should still be fine. So S tier. Alarak, he has mothership that can teleport. He can spread his army. He can split his army. You can go either Ascendants or Wrathwalkers or just Destroyers. Any one of them should be fine. S tier.
Yep, I have Alarak S to A. He's good in a straight up brawl, so even if he's stuck in a place, he's not gonna die. He has enough firepower just to wipe Amon off the face of his face.
Face of this face. Okay. Prestige wise, third one.
Third one, maybe first one, but definitely not second one, where the second one lacks the most mobility of all his prestiges.
Okay. I argue second will still be S or A because you can just split your ascendants, you'll be fine. Arcturus, where do we have him?
Arcturus, he has drop pods. So you can, if you're out of position, you can just drop pod a whole bunch of guys with guns that explode. And if you can't drop pod from your enlistment centers for any odd reason, you have bunkers that can just drop a bunch of guys in and you just give them guns when you pop them out of the bunker.
Yeah.
S to A.
Yeah. Arcturus bunkers. You can have repair guys or siege tanks behind them. You can go Earth Splitters to clear, or you can just go regular guys. You really will have a hard time losing if you're Arcturus S tier. Any prestige, but third one should probably still be the best.
Yep.
Artanis, he has probably the worst mobility among the commanders. His only option is if you go to second prestige, but why would you do that to yourself? Even if you do have mobility, quote unquote, it still costs a lot of energy. So you will have to split your Dragoons, but your Dragoons, when they're split, are not as strong as when they're together. You win the fight with them. I mean, you'll still be fine. Still good, but not S tier. So actually have him in B tier.
For me, I have Artanis from A to B. If you're comfortable with doing Mist of Opportunities with P2, you'll be fine. This is pretty much just that. And having the moving power field will be helpful to deal with concussive attacks and speed freaks. The reason why I say if you are comfortable with doing on Mr. Opportunities already, you understand how much of energy, how to manage your energy for those power field movements. So it's just that.
Okay.
A to B.
Okay. I mean, you can probably still go third prestige and just stagger your Archon dudes or just fight with the shield overcharge, but there are some waves that go different directions and you can't overcharge both armies at once. There's a cooldown. Anyway, moving on, Dehaka, where do we have him? Dehaka.
Dehaka, he has kind of like Alarak. He's just straight up stand up power, and the other aspect, he's also kind of like Arcturus. Once he gets set up, he doesn't really need to be mobile because you have creeper hosts and you just put them in the center. Once you claim the center of the map, they just rain explosive creepers all over the place. So S to A, the usual.
Okay. I will actually go Ultralisks here, or rather the Tyrannosaurs, because they're tanky and you don't need a lot of them to destroy multiple lanes. But same thing, S tier. Fenix for me is A tier because yes, he can split his army, but he does have some weakness against certain air compositions where Kaldi can't just wave his arms angrily and make the problem go away. Sure, he won't die, he'll keep living, but the bot is the issue. You have to make sure the bot lives as well. That's why I only have an A tier.
I agree. A to B because even though he can split his army, he can use the Arbor Suit to get around, his army itself still kind of has to micromaneuver into positions, especially if, like we talk about Caldalis, he's a melee, so he's definitely dependent upon getting up into the enemy's face, and with concussive attacks and with enemies moving as fast as they do, he might not be able to micromaneuver into the right position. Same thing for air comps. Mojo and Clarion, Talus, and Warbringer, they do have to do subtle movement and placement in order to engage correctly. And with concussive attacks lasting as long as it does, it hinders that. So A to B.
All right, both of us are okay with A. Let's put Phoenix in A. You could probably do first prestige as well. Just go mass carry and rely on Phoenix's champion, so you won't be as weak against air. But your carriers will be slow for a very long time once they get hit. So do bear that in mind. Horner for me is also. Oh, sorry. What do you have him?
A to B.
A to B. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So for Horner,
that's it. A to B.
pretty much. Huh?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
I mean, more
What do you mean that's it?
discussion, ideally.
No, I thought we were still talking about Phoenix.
No, I moved on to Horner.
Okay, yeah, we kind of, I guess our audio sync wasn't up there. So for Horner, my suggestion is using Well, you can use. Just thinking about it, you can use any of the three. You could potentially use P3. It does allow you to have presence in all different places. There's nothing limiting your economy, but I would actually opt for P2 on this because having the tactical jump is going to be very helpful, and then having the reduced cooldowns on all your Horner units. If you're out of place or if you need to be supporting your ally, you can just start dropping stuff as long as you have vision of the area. And if you don't have vision area, you can drop a Raven and teleport it to where you need vision. So that's helpful.
Okay.
But I think Conan Horner is A to B.
I also have Horn in A, not B. I think Horn at least have teleport abilities. That, by the way, are you getting slapped around or something? I hear something slapping in your background.
No, I'm sorry. I was fidgeting with a case. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. As long as you're fine and not getting slapped around, you can keep doing whatever you're doing. Han and Honor from you also A tier. They can teleport, unlike Artanis, and they do still have throwaway units. So if you're out of position, you can delay temporarily with Helions, Hellbutts, even Reapers to an extent until your army gets there, and the teleport just happens to be on cooldown. Just watch out for stuff like Banelings or Cyclones locking on and right clicking the bots. They're still A tier, but there's a little window there that the enemies could possibly take out the bot before you can stop them.
Especially for Zerg comps. Be very careful of Zerg comps. They really like to go after the bots and ignore your army.
Yes. And also Immortals. They like to right click on the bots. Anyway, A tier. Still pretty good. Karax, S. Cadence, good. Solar Lance, good. Orbital Strike, Purifier Beam, good. S.
Yeah, if you're used to using Karax on Missive Opportunities, you can play it several different ways. The way that I usually see a lot of players do it on Random Queue is just once you take a certain area, you just cannon up that area because there's a lot of areas, especially the center, especially the second bot set. There, you're gonna have enemies coming through that area repeatedly over throughout the course of the match. Mm-hmm. So you just lock that area down, and you kind of don't have to think about it, and that kind of takes care of your mobility issue. Is like you already took care of it, and if you really need to have something where you don't have your cannons or your army in place, you have space lasers to help you out.
Space lasers, good.
So, SA.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same thing. Any procedural work, I still have preference for the third one just because you have more space lasers that don't get affected by concussive attacks in any way. Kerrigan, where do we have him?
Kerrigan, Omega Worms are really good for mobility. It helps you and your ally if your ally is using ground units, which depending. Some of them are like Tychus is all ground units. So they'll definitely appreciate that since they don't have to use medevac charges. They can actually save that. But otherwise, yeah, Kerrigan S to A. It's pretty much a standard game for her. Just spread Omega Worms all over the place.
Okay. Same thing for me, actually. Just Kerrigan, Omega Worms, be everywhere. Mobilization Wave, delete everything. And just maybe Zerglings Immortal. Oh, no, Zerglings or Tauras, clean up the rest. S tier. Nova, also S tier. Because the thing I talked about most is mobility. And you have airlift. You can just get anywhere you want. Whether you go first prestige with Mass Liberators and Raven turrets. Turrets are important here so you can body block the enemies from getting to the bot. Or you can go third prestige. Go tanks, bio, and still Liberators and Ravens. While Nova herself just goes and clears the map while being super duper cloaked. And that's good for S tier. What do you think?
Yeah, Nova SA. Sure, her units are pretty sturdy, especially with defensive drone. And in my opinion, I would do P1 or P2. If you're used to doing with less airstrikes, but having that mobility, it's going to be pretty easy, especially if it's a ground comp. You can make very good use of your siege tanks where when you airlift them, they do not unsiege, so you can pretty much treat them like a Swann hurt transport in some way. And the nice thing is, after you airlift them, you can drop spider mines immediately and they instantly arm, so that increases the DPS. So it's very good against ground cops. Against air comps, you'd be a little hard pressed. P1, kind of the same concept as I was alluding to Han and Horner for P2. If you are out of position, you can just drop units. I mean, that's Nova's whole shtick is she doesn't build directly from the barracks, they just drop from orbit. So with so many charges available, you, as long as you have some spare charges to work with, you can drop as need be if you're out of position.
Dropping for orbits is a very dangerous proposition, by the way, because orbital speeds are very fast, so you need to slow down considerably, and that takes a lot of energy. So don't recommend dropping down from orbit. From space, yes, but you have to slow down if you're in orbit. The more you know. Anyway, yes, Nova S tier also. I'm a bit iffy, maybe S star or maybe a low S, because as you mentioned, she does struggle a little bit against air, a little bit, because you still have Seeker missiles, you still have Goliaths, but they're not as powerful as Nova's ground options against air. So, S still S, probably low S. Raynor for me. Oh wait, yeah, Raynor. Where do we have him?
Raynor, all his stuff is dropping from space. So, yeah, as long as you're good at managing on setting your rally points for your barracks, for your I forget what that name, factory, starport, you should be fine. It's going to be a kind of standard Inhumanity game for Raynor, or you play P3. There's nothing limiting your economy. Raynor can establish presence still. It's his usual issue of durability. Can he survive the fight? And if he doesn't survive the fight, can you replace his army quickly enough so that the bots don't die?
Yes.
But definitely not S. I'd say A to B.
Yeah, I also have Raynor in A tier. He's only inhumane until you clear the map. After that, Spider-Mine City will make you sure your Marines go home, have dinner, and be ready for the next fight. So, yeah, A tier sounds fine. Prestige, you can go no prestige. You can go, actually, even any prestige actually should be fine for Raynor.
Yep.
All of them will be
Just
A tier.
play according to the prestige.
Yeah. Stet Boy has Super Gary, he has Zerglings, he has Investors, he has Ultralisks, he has Teleport, he has Blue Zone, he can get anywhere he wants, S tier.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. He has a lot of good counters against concussive attacks, which is the more annoying one. Speed Freaks is definitely of consequence, but in some sense, his Steadalites kind of counters it too, in a way. If you're playing non P1, the Steadalites kind of delay incoming attack waves because they look at the Steadalites. Oh, let's hit that first before we go hit the bot. That's not always the case, as we were mentioning. Like you take Zerg comps or Immortals, they definitely like right click on the bots. So not guaranteed, but sometimes you do see them get hung up on Steadalites.
Okay, S tier.
S-A.
Okay.
Yes.
Stukov, where do we have him?
Stukov, P3 player, P3 mains, rejoice. This is going to be an easy one for you. There's nothing limiting your economy. No real early time pressure. Just send waves and waves of infested. Board the bots. The biggest thing is being able to split your attention. So many P3 Stukov players, or the ones with at least some degree of awareness, they set up their bunkers in a way that it's going to cover everything. If you just set up all your bunkers at home or in one central place, then there's a good chance you might lose the bots because of the speed freaks aspect of it.
Yes.
But otherwise, SA.
if you do the bunker strategy where you have all your bunkers in one place and you just rally at one point, you're only A tier because the trickle, your infested trickle, don't switch to the other side of the map as quickly as other commanders' options. You probably, actually not probably, you definitely need siege tanks or queens or something else that you can split and have as an option for defending the weak sides where you're infested or not. But once you do that, S tier. Actually, I would recommend even
Yes.
going first prestige. Just go mech.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. You lose your
Yeah.
diamondbacks, you use your siege tank, replace them. At least they'll be fresh and no concussive attacks. S tier. Right?
Hit your second gases, you Stukov players, though. You always like to say, oh, you can have my exfil gases, make use of it. Don't put it on your ally to take your gases and put more responsibility on them. Take some responsibility for yourself, please.
Alright. Swann has wraiths, he has static defense, he has, well, if you want tanks, you also use tanks, it'll be fine. It's regular brutal, basically. Wraiths on offense, turrets on defense, you can even go pulse cannon, concentrated beam in case you're out of position. S tier.
Yeah, you can do pulse cannon, a concentrated beam, or you can do a slowing laser drill that hits multiple enemies.
So everyone
so
is
that
slow.
it's some. Yeah, it's like you can make me slow. Okay, I'll do the same to you. It's all is fair. So, yeah, pretty much it will be a standard game. Nothing will really hinder him. I mean, concussive attacks definitely hinders him, but he has ways to deal with it. So, or ways to just kind of just work past it at least. SDA.
Okay. Prestige wise, yeah, you can go second prestige, you can go first prestige. They're both fine. You can even go no prestige, you're still fine. Tychus,
You could even go third prestige in my
you're still
opinion.
fine. Yeah. Tychus can
Yeah.
just do his usual thing. It's gonna feel like a regular brutal almost because he's that strong. S tier.
Medevac's good. So the only thing is try to be very mindful on how you're using your medevacs. Definitely the concussive attacks and speed freaks are going to pressure you to use your medevacs more than you would usually, or more than you'd usually expect. So yeah, you don't want to be caught in a point that you need to get over to save a bot and you're out of medevac charges.
Not really. Just
But SA.
just memorize where the enemies spawn from and just have your outlaws split. They'll be fine. You don't need medevacs. I guess for the first couple, but past that you don't need medevacs. Come on. But yeah, S tier should be they should be fine. Second prestige I think is still the best here. Vorazun
Yeah.
has black hole. She has dark pylon recall. She has time stop. You can even go distraction web. You can even go archons if you want. If you really want, it'll probably work. S tier.
Yep. The only thing that would be hurtful for her would be heavy air comp. So with that and speed freaks, yeah, just be mindful. But again, you have your black holes to kind of delay it if something's out of position. You got immortals that are right clicking on the bots or something, black hole them. So that is a very nice feature of her. SDA.
STA. That's put Vorazun in S tier. Zagara, where do we have him?
Zagara, she very well known. If you plan to do P1 on this, you're gonna probably be using F2A move very frequently, which could hurt you if you're not used to splitting up your forces. But if you can make an army and split them accordingly to where each bot is and protect them accordingly and reinforce as needed, then you'll be fine. Otherwise, it might be better if you do P3 Zagara so that you have that ability to react quickly if you are out of position and deep tunnel to where you need to be. Otherwise, yeah, gonna be a semi-standard Zagara game, but because of you need to be splitting your army accordingly, which most Zagara players are not accustomed to doing. I would say A to B instead.
Okay, I guess it's fine. I think Zagara can be as if you have bio launchers, but I guess most people don't really do that. But I still think you can be strong with Zagara if you put bio launchers. The bio launchers are the key because they just anchor the defense without you needing to be there. You can still F2 and A move if you have bio launchers defending where you can't have them. Then again, probably costs a lot of gas to put those things everywhere on the map. Maybe A is fine. Yeah, let's go with A so that she's still good. A's still really good. Prestige wise, I think any prestige will work. You want third prestige?
It's not Artanis tier.
Clear with your Hunter Killers and Bailing Barrage. First prestige, good. You just clear with free Bailing. Second prestige, good. You can clear with abs. No prestige, still good. Just do your thing and add battle launchers. You're good. A tier. Zeratul kind of good S tier.
Pretty much. It's we were mentioning earlier, like once you get to an area, you can just start canning out that area. And you can do the same with Zeratul, and if the area is not being used, you can shade project those cannons. So either way, they're still useful regardless, as long as you set them up correctly, and then reinforce them with shield guards so that they make sure they don't go down.
Okay.
S tier.
Do we have a double S? I think Tychus, Zeratul, Stetboy.
Tychus, Zeratul, Karax.
Karax, I think it's only a regular S because his probe can get slowed down by the time warps, and yeah, his probe can get sniped. So I think it's only A for Karax. Or no, it's only S for Karax. Maybe Dehaka is double S. Arcturus maybe. No, not really. Actually, Dehaka might get annoyed. Dehaka the hero might be annoyed if he's really slow. So it won't feel like a regular brutal. So I think Zeratul. I think Tychus can also get annoyed actually if they're slowed down. So Zeratul?
Yeah, I'm a little opposed to the double S for this one. It's an easy enough week. I wouldn't say there are any commanders that will not be annoyed by concussive attacks. All of them will be annoyed to a certain degree. Even Stukov.
Nova P3.
I mean,
right?
Is she going to be dealing with defending the bots? No,
I mean,
her army's still.
Her army's just chilling there. I mean, they don't need to move. Once they're set, they don't need to move. So they won't really get affected by the slow.
But are you gonna always keep your army in the same place all the time? Like, especially on, let's see, is it the first or not the third or fourth bot set? Where
I think this is your best argument. I think, I guess, yeah, they'll be slightly annoyed. Okay, fine. So, who's top of S?
Everyone will be slightly annoyed. I think Stetmann.
Stetboy?
Yeah.
I think Tychus. Because it's almost like a regular brutal for I guess it's a regular for almost all these guys. Stetboy, Tychus, Zeratul, those guys should be top of S. In no particular order, I think they're those three. So and then Abathur. What race you play, you have an option. After that,
Abathur. After that,
Abathur, sure. Dehaka
and Stukov.
Stukov?
Oh, Dehaka before Stukov.
Stukov that high? I'd rather have Nova before Stukov.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with that.
Okay. Alarak. No, I think Arcturus before Alarak.
Yes.
And then
actually, Karax before Alarak. Kerrigan before Alarak.
Right there.
I just keep on booting Alarak down the line. Then Swann before Alarak for sure. Now Vorazun and Alarak.
No, Vorazun's way
maybe
better.
that's where Alarak.
No. Vorazun's way better at just keeping control of the enemies.
Yeah. She has her recall. She has black hole. She has time stop.
Then
Alarak
again,
has
Vorazun
mothership
does have
and
that air
force fields.
vulnerability.
Yeah, but do you want to make it based on comp? I see the argument.
I think
but
this is
I think
fine.
Yeah.
Think this
yeah.
fine.
I mean, we're they're all still S. So yeah,
they're all still
not
S. Top of A, I
splitting
think is
hairs at this
Zagara.
point.
I think Zagara's top of A. Top of A. I think she could. There's an argument for S for Zagara if you use bio launchers.
I think it's between Zagara and Fenix at this point.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Zagara doesn't have the air weakness that Fenix
I think
does.
Zagara over Fenix. Yeah, I think Zagara over Fenix.
Okay.
And the rest is fine.
Really? I think it might have Raynor over Hot and Hornet because Raynor has bunkers and siege tanks. So they set up.
Hot and Hornet has mag mines and strike fighters.
No, I wouldn't trust. I wouldn't trust air strikers on the mutation with speed freaks. They would probably just be offense, but the main challenge here is keeping the bots alive or preventing the run by, preventing the snipe. Hot and Horner, I don't think has as great options as Raynor does. Just body blocking the enemy from getting to the bots.
And spider mines are
really good.
Oh, yeah, in a significant amount. And if just want to mention, if you're dealing with air comp, spider mines can't hit air, but you have all those minerals. Just fill the map with missile turrets.
Yeah. All right, I think Raynor is over Hot and Horner.
Yeah, that's fine. You're splitting hairs at this point.
Yeah. I mean, nobody's bad
Artanis
here.
sucks to be you, except for Artanis.
Well, Artanis not bad. He's
relative.
fine. I mean, B tier looks really bad on the week like this, but it's honestly not bad. It's fine. It's acceptable. It's playable. It's not even average. It's good. So yeah, you shouldn't have any trouble this week with staying alive. The only challenge is making sure the bots or the enemies don't get to the bots. Watch out for stuff like Cyclones, Immortals, Liberators, Zerglings, Banelings, Aberrations.
Especially Zerglings.
Yes. Just make sure you finish off those guys really fast so that they don't get to the bots. Alright, that is this week's tier list. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. If you have an idea for an LC, please leave a comment. I'll see you guys next time.